Remember to turn on all notifications so you don't miss a video. The OG Daffy and I had a conversation that lasted over an hour. This video is just the parts where we focused on talking about women in anime. Check out his channel for the full conversation.
I'm actually recording now, so I don't make the same mistake I made last time.
Recording as well. Okay.
For sure. All right. I think you did the intro last time. So cool if I do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, for sure. All righty. What do it's your boy Daffy Derrick? I'm here with my good friend Enlarged Prostates. Hello, sir.
Wait, what? Hello.
For sure. Now this man, Yumesuke, done hit me up. He said he had some questions for me. And so yeah, I guess we're gonna sit here and talk for a little bit.
All right. My first question is: do you think there is a female problem in anime?
Do I think there's a female problem in anime? That is a loaded question.
Actually,
are we talking about
on.
specific
let
series?
Me narrow down. Yeah, let me narrow it down. Yeah. Shonen anime.
In shonen specifically, I would say probably yeah. When it comes to that, I feel like a lot of female characters are underutilized. Not necessarily that they're like Mary Sue's, like the plot devices or anything like that. But you know, you have things, you know, such as like Sword Art Online, for example, where like you have the typical, you know, damsel in distress, you know what I mean? Or the love interest of the hero, who, you know, like something happens to said love interest, so the hero tries to rise above and get stronger. I feel like that's a pretty common trope.
What about Asuna though?
Asuna, wasn't she captured all in the second season, or am I remembering that wrong?
It was in the second half of the first season.
Okay, yeah, it's been some years since I watched that.
But
that character was surrounded by like a harem of women, which I mean, I have my own feelings about harem anime as well. But like just the amount of fan service in that show, I don't really care for much fan service. I mean, you can have some like cheeky jokes and stuff like that. I don't have anything against that, but like you have things like Fire Force, for example, who like it can overdo it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like Naruto never really had that issue. Dragon Ball a little, but also like Toriyama's a gag author, so I can't really fault him for that. That was more like OG Dragon Ball, like as opposed to like stuff like Z and Super and everything. You have things like Chainsaw Man, where like that the point of the like quote unquote fan service is like to convey a point or like a message. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like losing track, but like, I'm kind of like making a small tangent, but like
that's cool.
I was just reading some stuff online, and people were kind of talking about how like if like how like Makima from Chainsaw Man is very similar to like Sosuke Aizen, and like if Sosuke Aizen did some of the things that Makima did. Well, no, in terms of like how they interact with characters and like how characters like are infatuated with them, not in terms of like they're the same character. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, you know how like Denji, like he falls for Makima because I'm not gonna spoil it for anime only or anything like that. But she's a very young, attractive woman. She says all the right things, blah 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 blah. It's kind of similar to Aizen in a way where like a lot of the Espada, they followed him because he was so strong, but also it's because like he's good looking, he's a good leader, blah blah blah. Like even who was it
Momo?
Who's the queen? Who's the king of Fuego Mundo? Old guy.
Baragon.
Beforehand. Yeah, Baragon. Baragon was talking like how like Aizen he was bored and Aizen just showed up and like it was like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that same, like, infatuating effect. Yeah. They're not the same character. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, how they influence people around them, they're similar. That's what I meant. But, yeah, as far as female representation in anime goes, I feel like we've made some leeway. We've made some progress.
I mean, is there, like, a problem in the way they're written? Not like just the way they're written. Because I feel like
that goes series to series, definitely. That definitely goes series to series. One thing I respect My Hero for is it's when ochako, it was a huge point where it was like a huge thing. It's like, people like, oh, you like Deku this, blah 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 blah. I mean, it was a gag for a long time because obviously they like each other, like no shit. And then she just has this moment where she's like, I'm gonna stop. I have bigger things to worry about. He has bigger things to worry about, and she's just like, not to say that she's done, but like she kind of, I don't want to say grows up either. That's not what I want to say.
Hold on, when did this happen? Matured.
This was either season 3 or 4.
So it's in
either
the
3 or
anime.
4. It was, yes. I don't remember exactly, but she kind of like, not to say she stops her feelings entirely. That's not what happened. Like that's not what I'm talking about. Like obviously, when still like the mechanic girl, whenever she shows up and he's around, you know, she still gets kind of flustered. But she's like, she realizes that like, oh, like this, he's doing. Was it against his fight against Overhaul? I don't think so. Was it? It might have been. I don't remember. But
That's
that was definitely a big thing. Yeah, and it's kind of a small moment. But like I remember specifically at the it was just her like on screen and like the background was like white or blank or something, and she just kind of realizes she's like, she's like, I'm gonna not pursue this. That's not what she said. I have to remember what she said, but basically it was kind of like her being like, yep, I like him, but we both have to attain these goals first before we do anything. I really respect the author for that. I know you've been doing a series recently on like on shonen women. I've been peeping that and how you think Naruto's women were not underutilized. Can you? I want to hear your thoughts on that briefly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is a long thing. Well, it's not that long.
Go ahead,
I'm gonna try and compress it. All right. So the first part is my thoughts are that I'm gonna use the candy example. I said that if you have like a jar, right, and I have 75 blue candies and I have 25 blue candies, and I pick out, let's say, three candies randomly. I was asking, what's the likelihood that those candies will be blue? I mean, no, which one's higher? The likelihood that those candies will be blue or the likelihood that those candies will be pink? And then obviously the answer is that there would be blue. And I was saying those chosen candies are, you could obviously the blue is the man, or is the male group, the pink is the females, but those chosen candies, those could be the most powerful characters, they could be the most well-written characters, they could be the most important characters to the plot. But my point is that there are always a small group of characters out of the entire cast that's like important, that are strong, that are the most well-written. And I'm saying
your core cast, right?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily even the core cast. It's kind of like sometimes it can be like, sometimes it can be like the antagonists that end up in that group. So I'm saying that there's like this. I want to use a specific word. It's like this closed club, right, of characters that are like really good, and there's only like a small percent of the cast. But if the cast is like 75% male, and it's probably even lower for Naruto because I just did that by estimating. I looked at like the teams, and usually they have like 3 male characters and 1 female. So I just approximated that, but the percentage is probably even lower. So my whole thing is that if there are only 25 or less percent of females, the chances of them being in that closed out club of like the great characters, the best written, the strongest, the most important, the chances of them joining that is extremely low. And then I also pointed out that like many male characters, even more male characters, fall outside of that club than female characters. So my whole thing is that it's not a female problem, it's more so of a side character problem. And then if you say that there's a problem regarding females, it has to be about the amount of females that appear in the story. Because if there are 25,
whenever I say, and I'm sorry to interject, but whenever I say that there's a problem with the writing, typically what I mean is that like they can be written sometimes unreasonably, and sometimes they can be written off as plot devices, like I've said before, like when they're either captured or something like that. I know you have your own thoughts about kind of like what some people think is like kind of Sakura's worst moment, like in the when Pain, Shibaku Tensei, Shinra Tensei, the Leaf Village, and Sakura's like crying out for Naruto, and instead of like hitting like the seal on her forehead and doing something. I know you kind of have your own thoughts on that. From what I'm hearing from yourself, it still feels like a representation issue. It feels like so we don't have we have too many, not too many males. That's wrong, but we have we have a large population of males, small population of women or females, and so unfortunately, because this is a smaller group, they can't get enough shine. Because that's what I'm hearing. So I feel like we're still talking about a numbers issue, which is fine, and I agree with you on that. I'm saying when I'm talking about specifically writing, that's specifically what I'm talking about. Because I understand completely what you're saying. Because you gotta understand also is that shonen, it literally means like what? It doesn't mean like young man or like young boy in Japanese, and so like those stories are for young men. You know what I mean? Typically, and so like whenever you see a shonen with a large culmination of like women or females, sometimes they're only used as like fan service or something like that, because like like horny boys, whatever, let's get some views in or something like that. But I really I have no problem with like how many women appear in a show. That doesn't make or break a series for me. It's how they are they characters first, or are they, oh, look at this is pretty, oh, look at this, like there's no substance behind just how I drew this character, you know what I mean? Like that's what kind of.
Which specific stories would you say have like females that don't have substance?
So so I should tell you a good example. This is an anime, but take Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
I felt that.
Take Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah. Take Avatar: The Last Airbender. You have Toph, amazing character. I love her character. You have Katara. She has some flaws, but they work. They're logical. I love her character as well. I personally think Suki is really underutilized. I feel like she should have been in the group way more. But that's just me. That's just me having a preference. But those were characters first, and obviously they're kids, so you can't sexualize them. But if the series was in Japan, they would do it. Trust me.
I mean, I feel like they already did, but let's go.
That was more so like cutesy stuff, kind of like, oh, they kissed in the tunnel or whatever, and like,
I mean, they had them in bikinis in one episode, right?
Well, bikinis aren't really a sexualized thing. I mean, that's just swimwear. That's swimwear. I'm not tripping over that. Like Azula's like,
I mean, I'm not tripping. Period.
I know what you mean, but like at no point when they were like wearing the bikinis, you're supposed to be like, oh, like they're going to the beach. You know what I mean? If they're all wearing like onesies, it'd be a little weird. I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
How they were wilding when they were young, especially for Ty Lee.
I understand. To me, it never felt overtly sexual. You know what I mean? It just kind of felt like, oh, she's attractive. You know what I mean? Because for kids, right? It was for kids. Or even Korra. Take Korra. I have some issues with Korra and Asami's relationship at the end of season 4 because it kind of felt like out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? But like Korra, I don't think Korra was sexualized one time. Because I've been rewatching the series. I don't really think so. Because I mean, really, like all of her like romantic scenes, it was with her, just like it was a romance thing. It was never like a thing like she was super attractive or something like that. I think, yeah, off the top of my head, I don't really think so. Same thing with Asami too. I don't think Asami really had any like overtly like sexual things. They really stuck out as characters to me first.
So what are bad examples in anime?
As far as bad examples, I watched a decent bit of Fire Force. I gotta say, man, some of the Fire Force cast, I'm like, this is nah.
I will not defend Fire Force.
I'm not a fan. Bulma early on in Dragon Ball, like OG Dragon Ball. I mean, it's a gag. I know. I understand it's a gag, but just nah. Like no. I don't know. Just the amount of times they used her body to get favors from Roshi and shit is nah. Off the top of my head, JoJo, I can't really. I mean, they had some smaller gags with Triss. They kind of had some smaller gags with Triss, but that was like at the like near the end of part 5. Lisa, I mean, she's older, but she was a character first. I already talked about Chainsaw Man in depth. I was actually rereading that last night. I was actually having a good time.
What do you mean by
that? Now, as far as Sakura goes specifically, I think I made a comment like a month ago or something, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think something along the lines of like her goals are really like surface level, and like they're not really like really her main goal at the end is like to get Sasuke to like her, which is kind of superficial and kind of like an issue I have with Kishimoto's writing. At the beginning of Naruto, it got better. It definitely did get better, especially because like look at her fight with like I guess like Sasori. Like that was a really good fight. Yeah, that was a really good fight. Because like he beat the third Kazekage and he was like one of like the OGs. He was apparently he was like a menace. You know what I mean? And like yeah, it was kind of implied that he kind of let himself get killed, but he was still actively trying to kill them. But like at the beginning of part 1. Oh, Sasuke's this cute guy. Naruto's an idiot. Oh, I gotta get stronger so I can protect Naruto and Sasuke. Oh, I've heard there was like a period where she was just like gone in part 1. Am I making that up? What?
Oh no, after the tuning exams, like she didn't really appear. I mean, a lot of the characters stopped appearing because like after the tuning exams, right? We had the search for Tsunade. And that arc kind of like got rid of 90% of
that was its own separate thing. Yeah.
And then after that, we have the Sasuke recovery arc, and that's
right.
Yeah, Sakura doesn't go on that mission.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, Sasuke, don't go." Beginning of Shippuden, I mean, she got insanely strong. She became a very, very good medical ninja, and they kind of seeded that her chakra control was kind of like abnormally good. That they were like, well, what the hell? I think Kakashi said something like when they were training to run up the tree in the manga or something. She did it like super quickly compared to Naruto and Sasuke. I think. Yeah. Because I have the 3-in-1 volume. Like even Kakashi in part 1, he was like, well, wow, your chakra control is crazy. Like she's always been shown to be proficient, but I don't. It always felt like she was playing catch up. And again, the story is mainly about Naruto and Sasuke, but it never really felt. She didn't really ever feel like. I felt like at any point she could beat like Naruto, number one, because he's the protagonist. I never felt like she could beat Sasuke because no shit. I never feel like don't really know if she could beat like Neji.
What?
You think Sakura could beat Neji? I'm not talking about with the seal. Not with the seal. With the seal, obviously, no, she would no diff him quick. I'm saying like. Base Sakura versus base Neji. You think she's putting the hands on Neji? I don't think so.
As for you were talking about superficial, personally, I think I said this in a video before. I don't mind superficial goals as long as like a character grows out of it. And one of them, my main example, have you seen Welcome to the Ballroom?
I have not.
Okay, so but like the main character, he sees this attractive girl and she does ballroom dancing, and that's the sole reason he joins ballroom dancing. And he even gets called out for it at one point. But as he keeps going on in the plot, he develops a love for actual ballroom dancing outside of that character. I mean, he still likes her to a degree, I believe, but like he actually gains a love for ballroom dancing. And I think that is a good example of how to do it. And I think a bad example is Kenichi, the world's strongest disciple. I did not finish it, but when I got there, the main character started doing martial arts for this one girl. And when I was like 7 episodes in, that was still the sole reason he was doing it. And I'm like, does he ever change? I'm not sure about that. And I think that Sakura's is, for me, I think Sakura's is fine because she starts off, she's like, oh, I just want to marry Sasuke. That's it. I just want Sasuke.
Ain't in episode 7, though. I'll tell you that. In episode 7, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, definitely. But I think like by the time like part 2 rolled around, her goal changed to, I want to help Naruto save Sasuke. And it wasn't just, I want to get in Sasuke's pants. And I think that was good. I think that was
but I mean, her is still like begging Naruto to get him back. Like, you know what I mean?
That was in part 1, though.
But it was at the very end of part 1. At the very end. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like you
know why I have an issue?
Why?
You know, I have an issue. I feel like if Sasuke had stayed, she would have had no reason to attempt to like get that much stronger from Tsunade. Is how I feel, right?
That's kind of. I mean, yeah, but I mean, why is that bad?
I'm not because it's like, okay, so say everything is hunky dory, quote unquote. Why are you getting better? Why are you wanting to get stronger? You know what I mean?
Tough
Everybody
times
wants to
make
be
tough
everybody.
men.
Everybody wants to be a good shinobi. Everybody wants to be
My
a good
bad.
shinobi. Everybody
Tough
wants to be.
times make strong men.
Break that down. What do you mean?
You never heard the quote? Tough times make strong men make easy times make weak men, and weak men make hard times, and then hard times make strong men. So I'm saying that like when you're put under pressure, you might turn into a diamond.
See, I understand what you mean, but like, like even like Naruto, like in Boruto, for example, right? Like Naruto never stopped training. Like he even learned more shit from what we know, right? And those are relatively like peaceful times. Like shit wasn't really happening.
Scarlet Spring said he got rusty, but I see what you mean.
But here's the thing. Even Seth had a video about this. Not really, because like all the other Hokage were getting washed. Here's the thing: all the other Hokage were getting washed by Momoshiki, right? Like they were just getting like bing, 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 like they were just getting thrown around. He started swapping hands with Momoshiki. Base nerfed. Do you know how crazy that is? Like, and he was working it for a second. Like that is wild. That's crazy, right? So like Naruto's not like super like. When he's older, yeah, he did a lot of paperwork and shit like that, but it's not like he's like stopped training. Like, no, we know this for a fact. So that's just that, you know.
I mean, that might just be the story trying to hype up Naruto.
Well, also, I mean, it's trying to make Boruto villains better than, you know, Shippuden villains, and I don't really know if that's gonna ever happen. But hey,
it's not.
Yeah. I'm not gonna turn this into a Boruto rant video because I don't have the patience for that. Yeah. I don't know. Just generally speaking, not to say I would like more women-led stories, because I mean, like, I don't care if a story is led by a women, men, whatever. As long as it's a good story, I don't really give a shit. Like Korra, for example, I've been rewatching it. It's a woman-led story, and I think I think Korra gets way more shit than it deserves, honestly. Dude, like, let's have more stories led by women, sure. Who cares? But let's make them good first. Let's make them quality stories first. You know, I really don't like women being used as plot devices in like pretty much any sort of media at this point. You know what I mean? Like the trope is tired. I'm tired of seeing it. You know.
I mean, I'm fine with tropes to a degree as long as they're like done interestingly. Or
there are some tropes I like, but that specific trope, that's whatever. You know what I mean?
What do you mean when you say plot device? Do you mean like damsel in distress?
Damsel in distress. She's the key to whatever. She's this person's daughter. Blah blah blah. You know, like just like that kind of shit.
They can't be daughters anymore.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. So I was talking about Raven for like Teen Titans. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's just like, oh, she's Trigon's daughter. Like, it's just like, oh, but it's shit like that, or just like the, you know, like the, oh, I'm new to Earth. Not new to Earth. What am I saying? Like the, oh, I'm new to this planet, race, whatever. And I fell in love with this particular like protagonist number one. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I'm all right on that. I don't know. Growing up with my nanas, that was all I watched.
How many of the videos have you watched? The recent ones that I've been making.
I watched the first one, and then I had not watched the second one. Unfortunately, second or third, I did not watch those. Unfortunately.
What did you think about the guy's arguments that he was making?
Can you reiterate? I don't think I watched all of it, but can you break that down for me real quick?
All right, he was saying stuff like, well, one of the ones I remember is that he said he was criticizing Kushina for giving up her dreams to be Hokage to take care of her son.
What?
She was criticizing. He was trying to use the fact that Kushina gave up on becoming Hokage to take care of her son as a bad thing, as a way of saying that Kishimoto writes bad women.
He's smoking nut. She's a mother. Any sane mother would do that. What?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why are you putting down?
She's a parent. That's not even a problem with women. He's a parent. Minato did the same thing. What are you talking about? Minato was Hokage, and he died for his child. I'm confused.
It's crazy.
Nah, you smoking that pack. Nah. What else did he say?
He was.
There's no disrespect to him, by the way. I'm just saying his art.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't hate him either. I have no ill will. I just think that he's making a bad video essay, and he's like, he's tricking people. He's being deceitful.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, let me pull up because there were some really bad ones. Let me see.
There's people are gonna disagree with what I say. And I mean, that's fine. I don't really care. But no. Any sane person would give up anything for their child. Like you hear people talk all the time about how like as soon as you have a child, that your whole world is them. So I don't like what.
He also says that none of the women fight and that they all heal. He says something along those lines. He's like, men fight, women
the Mizukage doesn't heal. Ino doesn't heal. Hinata doesn't heal.
That's what
Tenta doesn't heal. What? What?
I did the same thing.
Doesn't heal.
What?
I
came up with a list of characters that healed and a list of characters that didn't heal, and then I said half of the characters that heal also fight.
Sakura heals, Tsunade heals, but they're like the best at what they do. Huh? Wait, what? Okay.
He's saying stuff like he was saying that Naruto is problematic because it suggests that men and women differ naturally in regard to aptitude and vocation. That's a quote from one of the authors that he's referencing. And I was like,
in terms of what?
I just took that aptitude is like I tried to interpret it. Aptitude is like what you're capable of doing, and vocation is like what jobs you do. So I was like, men and women do have different strengths, and they do usually have like different jobs. So I don't know what this person was trying to say. Why they're trying to say this?
Well, I mean, like you even look at like how women are written in a lot of shonens. They're written as way smarter than the men. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
So like, I don't know, Shinobu, who is easily the weakest Hashira. She's one of the smartest, probably no, the smartest. Excuse me. You know what I mean? And she's
she's like a scientist
most
too,
physically inept. Yeah.
Yep.
And she's the most physically inept. And I'm not saying she's inept as bad, but she's like, compare her to like Tengen or like Rengoku, or I'm not gonna compare her to Iguro because Iguro sucks and I hate him. But like, Iguro is so whack. Iguro is so ass.
He's such a jerk, man.
He's a prick and he sucks. There's nothing interesting about him. But anyway, yeah, his backstory sucks. His backstory's sad. I don't care. But yeah, man. I mean, like, the first thing Sakura does is call Naruto an idiot because she's right. Like, he's not book smart at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, like,
he also says all healers are women. Can you name one non-female healer in Naruto?
There's a whatchamacallit? Wasn't there one from the Hidden Cloud, or am I making that up? No, this is a Genjutsu.
No, you're
specialist,
not.
Right?
No, you're not.
No.
I'm surprised
who is it?
That was your first one because I didn't even remember that. My first one was Kabuto. His name is C.
Yeah, C. Yeah. Because he was Kabuto. I mean, Kabuto's literally a whole scientist too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I barely remembered him.
So like right there, that's two males, and he said there's no male healer. So I'm like, he's not even doing his research.
Is he talking about specifically just Naruto? Specifically?
No, yeah, Naruto. He's specifically Naruto. He said there's no male healers.
Kabuto literally like
that was his whole point. When he's
a borderline Orochimaru, borderline, but also he's a scientist. But like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
He said that there are, him and the writer, the person's name is Fujimoto, Yukari Fujimoto. She wrote a book talking about like the problems of Naruto and females and stuff. They were saying that no female is able to overwhelm any male through pure skill. What do you think about that?
Sasori was defeated by Sakura and Shio. Sakura punched Kaguya in the back of her skull. What?
Tamari and Kayuya were both going to be
Tamari 10-10. Tamari one-shotted homegirl from with the Sound 4. She one-shotted her.
Yeah. And, well, they were talking about women overpowering men, but like Kayuya and Tamari each beat Shikamaru, or were going to.
Sakura is stronger than base Naruto. Like physically stronger than base Naruto. In part 1. At the beginning of part 1 at least. The beginning of part 1. Now, not Sage mode where he like stops a rhino and shit. And definitely not like KCM cloak, but like the first thing Naruto does is like, what the fuck? It's like he sees her punch the ground, he's like, huh? Like,
And then throughout the
What?
video, he's constantly putting down the concept of healing. He's like demeaning it, making it sound like it's not as important as it is. Saying things like, "Oh, Konohamaru killed a pain, but what was Sakura doing?" Yeah, Sakura was at the hospital healing people.
Well, Konohamaru also killed the weakest pain, who also promptly got rezzed.
Facts. I mean, there are like
Yeah,
three weak
well,
pains.
also, you want to know how bad it is that Jiraiya got packed up by 6 different pains in Konohamaru. Also, Kakashi beat the strongest pain. Well, not almost beat, but he was throwing down the strongest pain. He really didn't die from him. He died from like chakra exhaustion, which is wild. That's crazy. Dude, he fought Tendo Pain, and if it wasn't for the fact that like he was out of chakra, he wouldn't have died. Like he could have just feigned his death. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Jiraiya lost
shit on.
because he defeated the 3.
He got jumped.
He defeated the 3v1, and then they got revived, and he got jumped by 6. I think one of the coolest things about the pains is that individually, most of them aren't even that strong. But like when they're pretty dog together, shit. They're like bullies.
Yeah. It's because they share that vision. That Renegade goes crazy.
Yeah. And then so like the guy was talking about he was putting down Sakura as a healer. Then towards like the end of his Sakura section, he says physical strength does not equal a good character. So then I was like, why do you keep insulting Sakura's fighting ability if physical strength doesn't equal a good character?
I would not say that Sakura's lack of fights is because she's bad character. It's just because she's just underutilized. I mean, I personally don't love Sakura's character. But I mean, even in Boruto, she's kicking ass, right? I must not remember that wrong.
She was fighting against Sheen, the guy.
He's the dude that he was. Yeah. So I don't know. That's weird. That's weird.
Another thing that shocked me. Do you know what a literacy test is?
I could assume what that is, but no. You gonna break that down for me?
It was back in like the 80s and the 90s when black people wanted to vote, and they were like, "Yeah, take this test if you can pass it." Yeah, and then it was extremely hard, and like even white people couldn't pass that. I made that comparison in my third video because this person was like, "These are the criteria it takes to be a good female." He said, "It's rare to find a female character who has." Actually, let me just summarize it. He said he wants the characters to have. He wants them to have personality. He wants them to have individual motives that are not connected.
Every character has a personality.
That's what I'm saying. Good. He wants them to have like a strong set of beliefs. He wants them to be not sexualized, and he wants them to play a major role in the story. He wants all 5 of those things in order for a female to be considered good. And then I said,
you don't get half of those from male characters.
Exactly. Why are these people giving different standards to female characters than male characters? It's crazy. And
that's
then he wanted
really odd.
And then he wanted to compliment Jujutsu Kaisen for talking about the struggles of female characters and how they have to put in more effort to be seen as on the same level as their male counterparts. I'm like, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, that's. I was like, because Jujutsu Kaisen, they're not wrong. Nobara has the whole thing where she talks about like, I'm a strong sorcerer, but also I'm a girl. I like painting my nails. I like going out to the mall shopping, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's funny. Actually, that's really funny. Wow.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say about females in battle manga or anime?
Honestly, man. I mean, again, I am totally 100% down for more quality female, written shows and everything like that. I still gotta watch Ghost in the Shell as well, but like, and that's not a shonen, but as long as they're quality stories and all that, I don't really care. I don't really have an opinion either way. I mean, even like more like things written by women, I'm totally down for. Let's push for it. Let's just make sure they're good first. You know what I mean?
Can I get a hashtag protect shonen women from you?
Yeah. Hashtag protect shonen women, man. I mean, yeah. Just make sure that first and foremost they are characters. They're not these billboards for your body pillow that you want. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Or
like get a little bit of fan service in there is cool every once in a while. It's all right. You know what I mean? But like, come on, like let's do something, bro. Come on.
All right, you want to take us out?
Yeah, man. Anyway, I think that actually is gonna wrap it up for this video. Make sure y'all subscribe to Dimasuke. He just recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations on that, sir. No, that was like 3 months ago.
Thank you.
That's
It's no
that's
problem.
that's a big accomplishment. Yeah, he does anime content. He has his own manga that he is writing as well. And yeah, that's about all I have for you guys. You guys have anything?
Nope.
All right, well, I think that will do it for this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to both of us. Y'all have a good one. All right, peace.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and help me revolutionize the manga industry by buying my manga and spreading the word. All important links will be in the description.